Since the beginning of last season, those who played the game have changed. One of the greatest players and amazing people left us too soon. The most iconic for 2 decades decided it was time to step aside and out of the pinstripes. The all-time hits leader wearing a Phillies P now rolls in Dodger blue and is back on the West Coast. The sounds of the game remain the same. But it is the faces and names that continue to change. The greats that have stepped out of a Phillies dugout that are no longer with us. And the Philadelphia legends that still find their way back to the diamond.
Here's the stretch by Robinson. The 3-0 pitch. Swing a long drive. There it is. Number 500 for Michael Jack Smith.
And now the 3-ball, 1-strike pitch to Rollins. The line drive toward right field. There it is. Jimmy Rollins is now the franchise leader in base hits with 2,235.
Fans on their feet. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
America's pastime continues to evolve. The 133rd edition of Phillies baseball embarks today. Folks are waiting outside at noon today to get the last remnants of tickets for today's opener. Yep, hibernation is over. It's been more than 6 months since Phillies baseball, so everybody's out stretching their arms, stretching their legs, and oh yeah, expanding their waistlines. We get set for opening day 2015, a tradition like no other here in Philadelphia. The Phillies coming in from center field, greeting Mayor Michael Nutter, and then getting a chance to make the day of some young Philly fans, seeing their favorite Philly and also soaking in all of the bright sunshine and excitement that surrounds a baseball holiday. Cole Hamels getting set to throw the first pitch today. It's the Phils and the Red Sox opening day from Philadelphia. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs, and welcoming Ben Davis. 2010 was his last opening day. We'd like to welcome you to many.
Thank you very much.
All right, so for Matt, it's over a quarter of century of opening days for you. Today, Cole Hamels takes the baseball. You get chills when you think about the first game of a baseball season, and for Cole Hamels, he'll get a chance to toe the rubber for the second time in his career.
Well, he came into spring training, he was healthy. He was looking forward to the 2015 season. Early in spring training, he was working on a lot of pitches, and I had a talk with Bob McClure. He was saying he didn't worry about his control because he was working on all 4 pitches. Later on in the spring training, he started getting down the zone with his fastball. Everyone knows about his great changeup, his curveball, and his cutter. So I'm looking for great things out of him in 2015.
And I think, Ben, he's looking for great things from himself this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see, he's made 7th consecutive season with 30-plus starts, and this is after last year missing a few because of his injury. Cole Hamels is the anchor of this rotation. He is the man. I know Chase Utley is the man, but Cole Hamels is the man in this rotation. He's the guy that they can really depend on every 5th day to go out there and win a ball game for this ball club.
All right, well, game number 1 is upon us. It's about time. Baseball is here for 2015. Cole Hamels will take the ball for the Phils. Clay Buchholz has settled into the number 1 role for the Boston Red Sox to start the 2015 season. Hey, the weather's outstanding. What does that mean? The Leapfrogs were able to venture into the ballpark. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. For opening day. Well, it is upon us. Temperatures in the low 70s here this afternoon. Cole Hamels out of the mound warming up, getting set to face the Boston Red Sox. The slate is clear. Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Mookie Betts leads it off in center field, then Dustin Pedroia and David Ortiz, who starts at first base today. Hanley Ramirez is in left field batting cleanup. Pablo Sandoval hits fifth. Shane Victorino got a nice round of applause when he was introduced. He'll bat sixth. And then it's Bogarts, Hannigan, and Clay Buchholz for the Red Sox. And they will face Phillies left-hander Cole Hamels, who's coming off a season in which he was 9-9, had an earned run average of 2.46, had kind of an up-and-down spring, Matt, but as you talked about in the open, he was just trying to get his durability up and get his endurance up.
Well, and that's one thing with a lot of ace pitchers that have 4 pitches. He's working on all 4 pitches throughout spring training. So it takes him a little longer to find that strike zone, but he went out, he pounded the strike zone, and you can see the Budweiser scouting report, 94 mile an hour fastball, change curve cutter, his second career start in opening day.
So he'll face Mookie Betts to start things off. What a story Mookie Betts has become for the Boston Red Sox. He was a middle infielder most of last year. And now he's the opening day center fielder for the Red Sox. And the first pitch of 2015 is in there for a strike. And we are finally underway. Betts last year with the Red Sox hit .291 with 5 homers and 18 runs batted in. A high pop-up on the left side of the infield. Freddie Galvis will make the call and make the catch. And it seems only appropriate that he has the first opportunity of the season taking over for the icon that was Jimmy Rollins. Let's take a look, boys, at the Nissan keys to today's game.
Well, my first key to the game is support your ace. Didn't get a lot of run support last year. Get off on a good base today.
And mine was start 1-0. You know, all can worry about is today. I know there's a lot of predictions about what this ball club can and cannot do. Worry about today, Monday, April the 6th. Go out and win a ball game.
Here's Dustin Pedroia batting second, which is the norm for the Red Sox. He takes the first pitch inside. Pedroia 5 for 15 lifetime against Cole Hamels. He is a red light player, and his numbers on opening day have been outstanding during his career. Hitting well over 400 on opening days. Former MVP. In the air to left field. Going back on it is Revere, back toward the wall, and it is gone. And the Red Sox strike first. They lead it 1-0 here in the top of the first. Just 7 home runs a year ago for Dustin Pedroia. And out of the chute, he gives Boston a 1-zip lead.
When you talk about a timing, this is a pitch that Dustin Pedroia doesn't miss, whether it's opening day or the last game of the season. He is the guy that's ready to rock and roll as soon as the lineups are read.
Well, the ball will carry here today. It's warmer, and there is a slight breeze going out. Here's David Ortiz, and he fouls the first pitch back. Red Sox had an issue today, much like a lot of American League teams when they come into a National League city. When they have a powerful DH like Ortiz and they have an outstanding first baseman like Mike Napoli, they had to decide, well, who's going to play? Well, it's the veteran Ortiz, who's more of a veteran than Napoli, that gets the nod.
Right, and he really should. He's been the face of the franchise for so many years. He's a great power hitter, and his skills at first base are pretty good.
0-2 pitch. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Jerry Davis. 2 outs here in the first.
How do you not start him? I mean, he's Big Papi.
I like this right here. It's no balls, 2 strikes going right after him. And one thing you're going to have to do against the Boston Red Sox, it doesn't matter if it's Ramirez, Ortiz, Panda, whoever it is, they all want to get their arms extended, so you have to pitch in hard and up and in.
Well, Hanley Ramirez is certainly used to hitting in this ballpark from his years with the Marlins. He lines that one out to right field. Grady Sizemore makes the catch. A 9-pitch first inning, but one of those pitches left the yard. A home run by Dustin Pedroia has given the Red Sox a 1-0 lead as the Phillies get set to bat for the first time. Home run by Dustin Pedroia in the top half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Revere leads it off and left, and Odubel Herrera making his major league debut in center field, batting second. Chase Utley hits third, Ryan Howard fourth. Carlos Ruiz will start out as the 5-hitter for the Phillies, then Grady Sizemore in right field. And the bottom third of Ashley Galvis and Hamels. And they'll face 30-year-old right-hander Clay Buchholz. Now settle in, folks. This young man, 8 wins last year. He takes a long time to get the job done for the Boston Red Sox.
Well, that's exactly right, Tom. We discussed that the other day. We did not want to bring it up, but he is very methodical out on the mound. And he's a guy that the Phillies just really have to wait out. He is basically his biggest problem is command issues. Look at 92 to 96, curve change split, and this is his first career opening day start. But the Phillies need to wait him out. He throws a lot of pitches. It's never been a question of his stuff. It's just his command and whether he can execute.
Well, here's Ben Revere, and Revere last year hit .306. Pitches .205 in the spring, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Last year, Revere with 184 base hits, which was tied for first in the National League. Outside and high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies wrapped up their spring training schedule with 2 victories over the Pirates this past weekend here at Citizens Bank Park. And Revere won one of those games with a walk-off home run. And he lifts that one to center field. Straight away, Mookie Betts is out there. And 1 out. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Ed Lynch of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, but Ed will win $100. Ben, we like to give out money on these telecasts.
Money's cool.
Yeah. All right, here's Odubel Herrera. Odubel is the second Phil in 45 years to make his major league debut as an opening day starter. Swing and a miss. He got a fastball toward the outer edge, and it's 0-1. Herrera last year in the minor leagues at .315, 2 home runs, 59 runs batted in. Philly fans know the story. He was the batting leader in the Texas League in AA last year and in the Venezuelan Winter League. A Rule 5 selection from the Texas Rangers, who was a middle infielder before the Phillies picked him up, and now he's their everyday center fielder. Now the 0-2 pitch to him. In the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He actually started off the season today. His first 2 pitches is the exact same as he saw when he played University of Tampa, the first game of spring training. A little aggressive. He's probably a little nervous, anxious, and wants to get that first knock out of the way.
Yeah, he was pretty nervous and pretty anxious in that game against
But
Tampa.
after the second game, he settled down, and well, you saw the numbers he had in spring training.
Floats that one out to shallow right center field, and Betts is there. Now there are 2 outs. And now Chase Utley will step up for the Phillies. Chase had an outstanding spring. He had .412 with 4 home runs and 11 runs batted in. Overall last year he had .270. He had a great start to the season. And like Pedroia, he is a red light player when it comes to opening day. Fastball low, 1-0.
You know, there were a lot of concerns about Chase and really how bad that ankle was when he came to spring training, but I think he put all that doubt to rest. His swing is as short and crisp as I've ever seen it.
Yeah, his timing is right on point. Dribbles that one up the first base line. Buchholz bobbles it, and Utley is safe at first. You guys would know better than I would, but I would think those feet moving as fast as they were up the line were in the head of Buchholz.
Well, it's one thing you're going to get from Chase. He's going to get down the line very quickly, but he just kind of tried to turn a little bit too quick before getting the ball out of his glove. And you see right here Chase getting down the line, putting the pressure on Buchholz, and he won.
So the first error of the year goes to Clay Buchholz. Here's Ryan Howard. The Phillies as a team have a number of storylines coming into the season. Ryan Howard's success or potential for success is probably the biggest storyline. He grounds that one on the right side, and Pedroia is there. And the Phillies go down quietly in their half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. There was 1 Red Sox error. On to the second. It's 1-0 Boston on top. Phillies will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Here's Pablo Sandoval, and he takes inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Sandoval picked up this offseason as a free agent, 5 years, $95 million. After he won a couple world championships with the San Francisco Giants. 7 years with the Giants, a .294 lifetime hitter. Felt like they didn't want him anymore, so he signed with the Red Sox. And we have said this time and again, but if you throw the rosin bag up at Pablo Sandoval, he may swing at it.
That he would. He's a very good bad ball hitter, which means he can hit one behind him, over him, under him. Doesn't matter.
Cutter inside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
And don't let the physique fool you. He can go pick it at third.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
I was going to say, Matt and I will never feel that way. Swing and a miss and a changeup.
Sorry, finish your thoughts, Ben.
But no, I mean, this guy, you're right. He does like to swing the bat, but he's pretty agile for a bigger guy.
You're thinking you're getting a 3-1 heater. That's why you get the 3-0, 3-1 changeup, and that's what happens. It's a good bat toss, though.
Went all the way out to the feet of Freddie Galvis. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Sandoval. Ground ball back toward the middle, and Utley is there. 1 out. Good stretch by Howard. That'll bring Shane Victorino to the plate. Yankees return to Philadelphia, the first chance that he'll have an opportunity to play against his former club. Talked to Victorino earlier today, and he said it was going to be emotional coming into the batter's box for the first time, particularly to face Cole Hamels. Takes up high, 1-0. He has discarded switch hitting, although he would be batting right-handed anyway with Hamels up there. Coming off back surgery a season ago. Fastball in there. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So his entire family is here to watch this opening day. His wife, Melissa. His brother's here. Inside, 2-1.
You liked that, didn't you, Matt?
I did.
Up high, 3 balls and 1 strike. They appeal to Phil Cuzzy, who says no swing.
You know, being a former switch hitter myself, I could never picture myself doing that. I just couldn't. I always want that pitch coming into me as opposed to away.
There's ball 4. Victorino draws a walk, so 1-out walk. And Xander Bogaerts is coming up. Well, Murph, we've watched an assortment of pitches from Hamels so far. We haven't seen the curveball just yet.
No, but we probably will soon enough, Tom, as Cole Hamels gets his second opening day start for the Philadelphia Phillies. We talked about it during the exhibition season. He said it's just going to be another game for him, but I got to believe that the adrenaline is pumping. How does he do it? Well, this is what he did last year when you take a look at his pitch usage. Oh, he's got Shane Victorino. No, they're going to call a ball.
Victorino seemed to call it right away. Hamels wants an explanation for Phil Cuzzy. Ryan Sandberg is now at the top step. The only thing I can deduce, guys, is that it looked like Cuzzy said his leg went past, his front leg went past his back leg.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Tom.
It has to do with his foot, but we had the problem last year. We see right here, his foot comes up. Oh yeah, it crosses over.
Oh, it did big time, yeah. Murph, you had a bird's eye view of this. Is that what you heard from Phil Cuzzy?
That's exactly what he said. It was his foot coming back behind the rubber, I guess. And Shane Victorino had no chance, honestly, on that. They called that balk right away. Cole didn't seem to argue much, so he just wanted to know what he did wrong so he can correct it, I would imagine, for the next time.
1 ball, no strikes to Bogaerts. All right, Murph, you were talking about the pitch usage from Cole Hamels, and we're looking at it right now.
Yeah, this is from last year, guys, what he does with his 4 pitches, as Matt was talking about a little bit earlier. You know, he uses all 4 pitches, haven't seen the curveball yet, throws that about 10% of the time, or at least it did a year ago. But obviously that fastball you'll see about half the time. And, of course, the changeup, the real good one we saw to Sandoval, that is his swing and miss pitch. And he certainly got Pablo out in front of that one as well. So that's what you're going to see from him. It's been pretty consistent over the last couple of years. And, you know, he's had a ton of success with it. So I wouldn't imagine he'll change all that much.
All right, well, he's working with a runner at second base. 1 man down here in the second. A run is in. Bogaerts takes high, and it's 2-1.
See, this is the issue we saw in spring training, especially early on. His lack of command with that fastball down in the zone. Yes, he's throwing in the low to mid 90s, but he just can't get that extension and get that fastball down to Chooch's mitt there.
So he throws the changeup, and it's 2-2. You guys have both said that sometimes you go to your other pitches to get to the point, your release point properly.
Well, especially with the changeup, because it makes you extend through the ball and really out in front. Get that pitch out in front.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Bogaerts. And a ground ball foul. Now you might want to go down and talk to your friend Brian Butterfield. Now, he is awfully close to home plate, third base coach of the Red Sox. And he's not even keeping an eye on Bogaerts. You can't even see him. He's in the shadows of the opening day logo.
Well, Brian Butterfield, a good friend of mine, he's a Mainer, so I'll leave him alone. What a tremendous job he does for any organization. He was with, the Yankees at one time, the Blue Jays, now with the Red Sox.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pop up, foul territory, first base side. Howard is over, makes the catch. Murph, did you signify to Ryan Howard that he had plenty of room over there as he was coming about 3 steps from you?
I did, and I shaded. I was going to catch it too. I was shading the sun with my glove hand.
I see you down there, Murph.
Keeping us on our toes early.
Well, who would be very happy right there? Jamie Moyer.
Unfortunately, Jamie didn't see it, though. He's still stuck on that roller coaster. That'll bring Ryan Hannigan to the play with a runner at second base. Hannigan takes a curveball for a strike, the first one of the day. It's 0-1.
With 2 outs and a base open here, I really wouldn't expect Hannigan to get a whole heck of a lot to hit here with Buchholz on deck.
Yeah, Buchholz only has 5 career at-bats. Victorino goes. The pitch is dribbled up the third base line, and Ruiz is going to let it roll foul. Fortunately, there was a little bit of a tilt down there, and Carlos made the right decision because there was no way, even though Hannigan's a catcher, that he was going to be able to get him at first base.
Well, this is a very nice pitch, but there's 2 really nice plays of this. Carlos, very smart, letting that ball roll. But it's Cody Diashi backing up home in case Victorino wants to go ahead and try to score from second base. You can see the patience knowing that he has no chance, and there you go.
All the chalk that ball picked up as it was rolling into foul territory.
It feels like a billiards table out there. It is so level. The grounds crew really just does a phenomenal job with the field here. But that was very smart by Chooch to let it go. Instinctively, you want to go get it and throw him out. But that was a smart play there.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Hannigan with 2 outs. There goes Victorino again. The pitch is taken inside, 2-2. It's a 22-pitch inning now for Hamels after just a 9-pitch first inning. Three balls, 2 strikes. Inside, ball 4. Second walk issued by Hamels. As you guys mentioned, he wasn't going to give Hannigan anything good to hit, nothing toward the heart of the plate. So now he'll deal with Buchholz, a right-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter. Only 5 career at-bats. He's 2 for 5. Shows bunt, takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
It's a pretty good attempt, a thought process right there. Cody Ash is playing quite far back at third base. Now he's moved in a little bit.
Ruiz is going to go out. Hamels is disgusted with himself right now on the command that you guys spoke about. See what the opposing pitchers have done against Hamels during his career. Jerry Davis is the crew chief. He's behind the plate. Phil Cuzzi's at first. Tony Randazzo is at second base. And Will Little is around at third. Down and away, 3-0. Well, every pitcher goes through this from time to time.
He just seems to be very herky-jerky right now. It's not. Usually we see Cole very fluid out on the mound. It's hard to tell yourself to tone it down at times. Harder is not always better.
I would think it's hard to throw a strike knowing that the pitchers are not swinging. Like right here, he's taken.
Runner will be off from first. That's Hannigan. And the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball back toward the box. Hamels is such a good athlete. Thankfully, he was in the right position to field it. Sign is retired. A couple walks for the Red Sox. They leave 2. Middle of the second. Carlos Ruiz will lead it off when we come back. Against Rick Porcello. All fans 15 and older will receive the McDonald's opening night t-shirt. You can add that to your collection. You can purchase tickets by going to Phillies.com. Phillies will wrap up this series with a game, obviously Wednesday, that's opening night, McDonald's opening night, then Thursday. And then the Washington Nationals come to town. Phillies have 16 of the first 19 games of the season against teams in the National League East. These 3 games are the only ones. It's the first time for the Red Sox that they have opened a season against a National League team. In fact, gentlemen, did you know that the last time the Boston Red Sox opened a baseball season in Philadelphia was
1906.
Say it with conviction, Matt. Say it with convictions. 1954, they opened against the Philadelphia Yankees. 1954. Hey, you could have been right on with 1906.
I believe you.
I believe myself.
Carlos Ruiz leads it off here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 1-0 Red Sox. Carlos coming off a year in which he had 6 home runs and 31 RBIs. 36 years old. Grounds it foul off the front of the Red Sox dugout.
Now, this is a big spot, not only for Chooch today, but whoever's in that 5 hole is going to be protecting Ryan Howard. The fact that if whoever's behind Rhino has to be hot, otherwise Rhino's not going to see a whole lot to hit. So this will be, that 5 hole will be a big spot.
It's been a long time since the Phillies wondered who would be the protector of Ryan Howard. I mean, even going back to last year, Ryan Sandberg had Marlon Byrd as a protector.
Marlon did a very nice job last year protecting him.
Last season, the Phillies' number 5 hitter was 10th in the National League in hitting. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He was out front, and that's the first strikeout for Buchholz.
Just a straight changeup here. I mean, it really just. And we talk about his stuff. His stuff, he really actually has no hit stuff. But again, it's his command.
We'll see the pitches that he used last year. 5 different pitches. Grady Sizemore will be the batter. You mentioned he has no hit stuff. He has thrown a no hitter during his career against the Baltimore Orioles.
And it's interesting when you look at his stats. His changeup is really his swing and miss pitch. The league last year hit 172 versus his changeup, and everything else was 253 and above. His fastball was at 307. People hit against.
Sizemore was trying to bunt that up the third base line because the Red Sox have the overshift on against him, and that left side is void of anyone.
They'll generally wait till they get 1 strike on the hitter like they did, and then hand to move to, which would be second base, but just to take that away. But Gray said, if you're going to give it to me, might as well try it.
Grounds that one to the right side. Dustin Pedroia charges. NBC 10 News at 4. The only station with 20 minutes of non-stop news. Weekdays at 4. NBC 10. Count on it. Of course, today's game is on NBC 10. Happy to have them as a partner once again. Cody Ashe is the batter. Ashe last year for the first time was the everyday third baseman. Played 121 games. Hit .252. 10 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Hit 3 home runs in the spring. And he will be the everyday third baseman again. The Phillies roster really only has one other guy that's a prototypical third baseman. That's Andres Blanco, although they're going to probably use Darren Ruff at times if they need to at third base. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I feel like we're back down in Clearwater, guys. 72 degrees. Can't remember an opening day where weather was this good. Threw a curveball and he fouled it off the mask of Hannigan.
I was standing at the bus stop this morning with the kids, I was like, well, it's a little chilly today. And I looked up, and it was 45 degrees. And then by the time I got out of from working out this morning, I came out, this is gorgeous. I mean, it heated up quickly. It really did.
Don't get too used to it, though, Ben. It's supposed to be 70s tomorrow, but it's supposed to get a little cooler as the week goes on.
I don't mind the cool. I don't like the sweat, Tom.
Up high, 3-2. First 3-ball count of the day for Buchholz, who over his career has won 66 games and has lost 44. In fact, back in 2013, he started the year 9-0 with an ERA of 1.71.
And there was lots of talk back then of whether or not he was doctoring the ball. He was having some silly movement when the ball was getting to the plate. I remember one game in Toronto, he was throwing it, and it really looked like a Bugs Bunny wiffle ball. It just, balls are going left and right and darting and diving all over the place, but never got convicted.
Convicted? Never convicted. Breaking ball and a call. Strike 3. As she's down looking, that'll do it for the second. Ryan Hannigan forgot the outs, but it's the second strikeout for Clay Buchholz. Phillies go down 1-2-3. We've completed our first 2 innings here in Philadelphia with the Red Sox on top 1-0. Section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Ben, we forgot to tell you about this.
Okay.
Here's the question. You don't answer it now. Who was the Phillies' winning pitcher in Game 1 of the 1915 World Series against the Red Sox?
Can I say it now?
No.
We're going to say later. Let folks think about it. The answer will be revealed a little later on. First pitch to Betts is hit in the air to left field, and that one is gone. Mookie Betts has just given the Red Sox a 2-0 lead. It's their second solo home run of the game, and that was a laser. Guy had a heck of a spring, just 22 years old.
Well, you see Carlos set up low and away, and the fastball, he just pulls the fastball inside. Nice short swing, compact swing, and a powerful swing.
Here's Pedroia. He homered his first at bat, and he hits one foul off to the right. Well, the Red Sox certainly wanted to improve on their extra base hits and their power. Here in 2015, they were 12th in the American League in home runs a season ago. They were 11th in runs. 1 ball and 1 strike. off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. Pedroia is now 31 years old. He is signed through the 2021 season. Isn't that remarkable? Ground ball foul past the third base bag.
I think he bought a house in Boston.
This is back in the first inning. Cole Hamels throws a fastball, a little cutter inside, too much to plate. And Tom, like you said, he's been very good on opening day. Doesn't miss that one.
Well, that home run gave him a base hit in 9 straight opening days. He's the only Red Sox player in the last 100 years to have that accomplishment. Rookie of the Year in 07, MVP in 08. Two balls and 2 strikes to Pedroia. He'll be followed by David Ortiz. Over to third base. Cody Ashley charges. Boy, he is so much like Chase Utley in the way he moves, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he just busts it up the first base line. One out here in the third.
He really is the epitome of a baseball player. Yes, he's got the talent, but his hustle, determination, you can see he's not the biggest man on the field.
That's all it is. That's what you want. That's what you ask of a ball player every day, and day in and day out. Is just go out there and you might hit 4 ground balls. Just get down the line as quick as you can.
It's only for 90 feet. That's all.
Well, he even stumbled coming out of the box. I mean, once he stumbled, he probably could have just broken it down at that
Technically,
point.
it's longer than 90 feet because you don't stop on the bag, man. We run through the bag. That's when you break it down afterwards.
1 ball and 1 strike to Ortiz, who struck out his first time up.
I won't comment on that.
Fouls it at the plate. We go to the out-of-town scoreboard. Things haven't gone all that well for the Brewers today. The Rockies are shutting Milwaukee out 10-0 behind Kyle Kendrick, who's the opening day starter for the Rockies. Good for him. He also has a double. 4 strikeouts through 3 innings for Kyle.
And that'll be the first thing he talks about in the post-game interview.
His double?
His double.
I wonder what kind of stance he's using this year. He changed his stance.
A scared one.
Yeah. He changed his stance like 3 or 4 times last year. Remember 2 years ago when he started batting like Tony Batista. Remember Batista, that wide open stance? There's a high pop up left side. Freddie Galvis, sunglasses on, is there. 2 outs. Hatfield's Philly Frank's Dollar Dog Night will be this Thursday. It's the first of many. And the Phillies wrap up their series against the Boston Red Sox. Order your tickets for either Wednesday or Thursday. You got a great giveaway Wednesday. And then you have a great meal on Thursday. Go to Phillies.com and purchase your tickets.
And then I got benched Friday.
You're off on Friday?
Yeah, I got benched.
What are you going to do?
To watch the Phillies.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to be here. Here's Hanley Ramirez, who takes a breaking ball. It's 0-1. He fly to right his first time up.
That's the pitch right there I wish Cole would throw more of. 2014, 9% of the pitches he threw were curveballs. The opponents are hitting 164 versus his curveball.
It's not the best one, but why not throw it? It just gives the hitter something else to think about.
Exactly.
When you think of Cole Hamels, you think heater, changeup. Well, we know he throws the cutter, but then he throws another wrinkle in there. He's like, oh man, I forgot he had that. Then you start thinking about it.
Well, especially early in the count. Now all of a sudden, boom, first pitch curveball, first strike. Now he can go and attack the strike zone with a backdoor cutter inside, because he's pitching ahead of the count.
About to throw his 55th pitch of the day with 2 outs here in the third. Now outside. It's 2-2. You can hear he's fighting himself a little bit out on the mound.
And that was another hook there. It's just ball slipped out of his hand. It really is a feel pitch, though. That curveball is a feel pitch. And it's also a pitch you really quickly abandon if you don't have a feel for it that day. He's not going to throw it.
Off the hands, foul territory. Howard over toward the camera well. And runs out of room. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You can see Ryan check and see how much room he had.
If it was a little higher, he might have been able to get to the spot and then get a little foundation of where he was. 7th pitch of the at-bat to Hanley Ramirez. With the dirt, and now 3-2. Pablo Sandoval waits on deck. And Ramirez stays alive, a foul ball. Last year, the whiff percentage on Hamels' changeup was 3rd best in the National League. Steven Strasburg, his changeup offset that 98, 99 mile an hour fastball. It was pretty good. And the dirt ball 4. So 3rd walk issued by Hamels. And a 2-out base runner. That'll bring Pablo Sandoval to the plate. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with Sandoval over the years. Obviously, the Red Sox look at him as their everyday third baseman this year. I would think next year, but toward the end of that contract, would he wind up over at first base? Could he be a DH if David Ortiz's career is over with at that point?
I don't think David Ortiz's career will ever be over. He maintains identical numbers every year. It's ridiculous.
Especially on the power side.
Yes.
Sandoval grounded out to Utley his first time up. Swing and a miss. I remember when the Red Sox signed him, folks kind of likened him a little bit to Victor Martinez. You know, Martinez has settled into being the designated hitter for the Tigers, and they felt like Sandoval could transition eventually to that kind of a player if he wore out his welcome over at third base. Because he is a switch hitter and he's got some pop.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see this series. If Big Papi's going to play first base for all 3 games, or are they going to mix in Napoli for a game?
Got to play Napoli at least once, don't they?
You would think.
John Farrell, the manager of the Red Sox.
It's so hard to take him out of the lineup, though. You know, he's not going to kill you at first.
And a called strike 3 right on the inside part of the play. Just the second strikeout for Hamels. The Red Sox have taken a 2-0 lead. They have 2 solo home runs today. Pedroia in the first and Mookie Betts here in the third. So we'll go to the bottom of the third inning. It's Boston 2, Phillies nothing. Right. By your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com today. And by Papa John's. The day after every Phillies win, get 50% off your regular menu price online order using the promo code Phillies at PapaJohns.com.
Phillies at PapaJohn.com.
That's exactly right. This place is packed. It's great to see. Freddie Galvis leads it off as we go to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Red Sox. He shows bunt, bunts it towards second. Pedroia is there. And he throws out Galvis. One out. And Cole Hamels is coming up. Butted that a little too hard, and Pedroia was shortened up somewhat. Hamels a 174 lifetime hitter. He had 210 last year.
Even the pitchers are using Marucci.
Amazing.
His bats.
They want to think of themselves as hitters.
Cole was very kind to sign an autograph for my son down in spring training, and I said, you know, he's left-handed like you, Cole. He said, well, he doesn't have to even pitch then. I said, yeah, but he likes to hit. And Cole said, so do I.
Yeah. Inside, 1-2.
He does have a sweet swing. He does.
He has a very good swing. Competition between Hamels and Cliff Lee on who the best hitter was among the pitchers was always a pretty good one. Breaking ball and a called strike 3. That's the third strikeout for Buchholz. 2 outs. Ben Revere's coming up. Murph, we're going to need you to bring a little luck to this offense. So why don't you talk about the final roster for the Phils?
I will do my very best, and I will do just that. You know, we had the day off, as many people did yesterday, but the Phillies front office staff did not. They had to finalize that 25-man roster, and they did that about the middle of the afternoon. And one interesting name was added to that 25-man roster, a guy that had just become available, Dustin McGowan. He is going to join what is already considered a very talented bullpen. McGowan, of course, was a starter last year. He started in the rotation for Toronto at the beginning of the season. In fact, he was their home opener starter last year. But in about May, he was moved into the bullpen, and that's where he stayed for the rest of the season, and that's where he will pitch for the Phillies as well. I was talking to Mike Ondo, the Phillies director of scouting. He said, you know, he's a great arm. He's a veteran arm out there that's had a lot of success in his 10 years in the major leagues. As Ben Revere is robbed by Dustin Pedroia. Line drive right there. But yeah, he's had some success, and they like the fact that he's a veteran guy kind of mixing in with a lot of young guys in that bullpen. So McGowan will be a big piece out there for these guys this year.
2-0 Red Sox. We'll go to the fourth here in Philadelphia. Get yours today for up to 50% off from who but WB Mason. Go to the top of the 4th inning. The Phillies are hitless through the first 3. The Red Sox have just 2 hits, but both are solo home runs, so they have a 2-0 lead. Here's Victorino. He walked his first time up. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Victorino, a 2-time All-Star with the Phillies. Spent 8 years playing in the big leagues for the Phillies. On the inside corner, 1-1.
And probably the most notable Rule 5 draft that I can think of.
From a Philly standpoint, oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely, from a Philly standpoint.
Now there have been others. Dan Uggla, a Rule 5 pick by the Marlins, who had a couple of very good years for them. I guess the most notable in history is Roberto Clemente. It was a Rule 5 pick from the Dodgers, from the Pirates, but Phillies also had Dave Hollins at one point, who was a Rule 5 pick. 1-2 pitch to Victorino. For a ball hit foul.
And Dave was down in spring training, and he's a guy that I watched growing up. He still looks like he's in great shape. I mean,
he's a giant, isn't he? I mean, you're a giant, but he is.
It's like he can just chop a tree down with his hand. Just.
Another foul ball. It remains 1-2. And a good guy.
Great guy.
Yeah. Talking to Victorino today about the whole switch hitting part of it. He had back surgery last year. He had 2 different parts of his bat that were operated on. And he decided to just go back to being a natural right-handed hitter. And he wasn't sure how the Red Sox would feel about it. And he went to Ben Cherington, their general manager, and he was all for it. And it relieved a little bit of pressure on Victorino's mind, because he felt like he just couldn't be as consistent a hitter left-handed because of all the back issues that he had. 2-2 pitch to him. Swing and a miss. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Ball is hit toward right field, playable for Sizemore. 2 outs here in the 4th. And that'll bring Hannigan to the plate. Hannigan walked his first time up. One of 3 walks. Hamels was basically working around him.
But this is the situation here where you go after him. You try to get him out that way. Buchholz will lead off the top of the 5th.
Bad thoughts out, good thoughts in.
Well, as both of you guys know, that happens all the time. Well, they're pushing his pitch count up. He's at 77 pitches.
What Hannigan's looking for there. There at 3-1, I'm hacking.
And he lines that one over the glove of Kobayashi into left field. Revere gets to it quickly, and Hannigan will stay at first. And that'll bring Buchholz up with 2 outs and a runner at first.
It's a 3-1, 3-2 fastball. Nice swing just over the reach of Cody Ash down left field, third base. Nice job of Ben getting the ball in quick.
Absolutely. Heineken doesn't want to take any chances there with the pitcher coming up. If he does get thrown out at second there, Skipper would not be too happy about that one.
Red Sox come into this season off a terrible 2014. Phillies finished with 73 wins. The Red Sox finished with just 71 wins. Chopper right side. Howard's got it. Flips over to Hamels, covering in time.
Useful.
Well, that looked rather interesting, didn't it?
It looked really easy as well.
Sure did. No runs.
No panic.
One hit, one man left. Look at the crowd that's out at Ashburn Alley. Soak it in the sun and soak it in a little baseball. Ryan Howard with a little extra defense to finish up the top of the fourth inning. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. 2-0 Red Sox on top. The Phillies do not have a hit through their first 3 innings of work. Well, the first pitches for today, Julie Kramer, a cancer survivor who Chase Utley met this past off season on the Ellen Show. Throughout one of the first pitches. The great Herb McGee, who picked up his 1,000th basketball victory this past college season, with Carlos Ruiz catching. And there's Kyle Shanahan, 8 years old. And he is representing the Moors, who is the sponsor of Opening Day 2015. What a treat for him to get a chance to meet Carlos Ruiz and throw out the first pitch. But the ceremonies, they're always great. It doesn't matter where you go in baseball. The opening day ceremonies are outstanding. Here's Odubel Herrera. Breaking ball inside.
This would be an opportune time for his first one, wouldn't it?
Get the first hit of the season for the team. Sandoval's in at third. You surprised Sandoval's in at third? We haven't seen him bunt much.
No, I'm not. The scouting report is that he will lay a bunt down once in a while. But I kind of like it. I mean, Herrera can hit the ball to left field with authority. We've seen it in all spring training. So keep on faking the bunt, bringing him in. It opens up a bigger hole between third and short.
2-1.
But now I do like the bat he's having right now. He's back to being patient. His heartbeat's probably back down to normal. He's being able to breathe properly. And he's seen 3 pitches already set down.
gets that one off his foot. The heartbeat's going to be moving right now.
Moving to his foot.
Moving right into his foot.
This is just a 2-1 cutter. Surround. Oh, actually hit him off the back foot.
Back foot, yeah.
Right off the end. Or is that a Z?
I think it's an N.
Depends on which way you look at it.
Well, that's true. Ooh. Phillies have had one base runner. That was Chase Utley on the error by Buchholz on a ground ball up the first base line. 2-2 pitch to Herrera. In the dirt, 3-2.
And one thing that people have asked me, what are the keys to the Phillies' success? And I said, well, it's at the top of the order. They have to get on base to give the middle of the lineup guys any chance to drive them in. But this is a tremendous at bat right here, an absolute tremendous at bat.
And a called strike 3. Down looking. 4 strikeouts for Buchholz. That'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. Well, obviously the Phillies have a lot of questions coming into 2015. One thing that they know is that Chase Utley's going to be in the 3-hole. He had a great start last year. You get Revere and Herrera on, it gives Utley and even Howard more opportunities to do some damage.
Well, I believe so, and I think what it does, it brings a lot of energy. You want 2 guys, Ben gets on, hopefully he can steal 50 bases, which he wants to. Herrera gets on, steal at least 30 bases. I do think it just brings a lot of excitement, and it fits in the way that the Phillies want to do. They want to play small ball, and that helps out a lot.
And it also puts pressure on the defense, and that's one thing they're going to have to do as well. They just can't sit back and wait for a 3-run homer. They just don't have that luxury.
Yeah, Buchholz has had no pressure at all today. I mean, obviously he hasn't given up a hit with 1 out here in the 4th inning. Shadows have crept over toward home plate as we slip past 4:10 here in the East.
Having never played here, Matt, in a day game, I've played at some stadiums with some awful shadows. How does this rate up there for shadows?
This one's usually tough till about 4:45. Usually, in about 20 minutes or so, the shadows will start moving over towards the pitcher. Everyone will be in darkness, which is a lot easier to hit. But right now, what makes it so hard is that he starts in the sun, and you cannot check. You can't see the rotation of the ball going through the shadows right now.
Utley waves at it, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for Buchholz. 5 strikeouts for Buchholz here this afternoon. Not necessarily a strikeout pitcher.
No, but when you're throwing a changeup like this, you'll become a strikeout pitcher. You can see the grip, the circle change. And that's the hardest thing with shadows is you can't determine. Curveball's okay. It's the fastball and the changeup that has the same rotation that's hard to pick up and hard to pick up the speed.
Well, there's the comparisons between Buchholz and Hamels. Ryan Howard whacks the first pitch foul.
Hard to believe how far back in his palm he held that changeup. Usually guys that throw that circle change get out in their fingertips, but that was, I mean, you could see a lot of that palm touching the baseball there.
I would think you have to throw that an awfully long time to get the feel for it, to let it roll off your fingertips.
Right, and I shouldn't even give a scouting report on Buchholz because I've never put a ball in play against him. I think I'm 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts. He would throw me the changeup over and over and over, and I could not pick the rotation up on it.
It looks like you might see it again. Here's the 0-2. Check swing. And out of play.
This is the best I've seen his changeup. He usually is up in the zone with his fastball. He's up in the zone with his changeup. But today, for some reason, he's getting that tremendous late movement, which you can see right there. He's getting the ball deeper in the palm, like Ben mentioned. Kind of like it's choking the changeup even more. And look how it just dives towards the end.
And he threw a pitch last inning. The three of us were wondering. We looked at the speed of the pitch and said 93. We all thought it was either a split or a change.
It moved. That one's lined out toward left center field. On the run is Ramirez. He won't get it. The first hit of the day belongs to Ryan Howard, who will pull into second base with a 2-out double. Well, that base hit brings us to our Geico quote of the day. It comes from Ryan Sandberg. He's in a good place as far as his stance goes. When talking about Howard, he's done a lot of extra hitting. I think he has more bat speed than last year, which, Matt, you agree with. I know that.
Well, the thing I noticed in spring training is that he had tremendous bat speed, but everything he swung at, he was out in front. And that's the first ball, I think, I can honestly say in spring training, before spring training, that he drove to left center, which is realizing you can back the ball up and rely on your bat speed.
Well, Sandberg went on to say the hope is that he can click and get off to a good start. A double in the first ball game is a nice way to get things started. By the way, speaking of Geico, if you go to the Geico website, they have got a baseball quiz as we get set for opening day. You can take that quiz and test your knowledge, just as we'll test your knowledge in a little bit on our Jeep Stump the Fan trivia question. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ruiz.
I'm going to let the rookie answer the question today.
1915?
Yeah.
Was it a cold day that day, Tom?
Well, it was in late September, so it may not have been that cold. I don't know if the sea was angry or anything like that. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ruiz.
I think Ben was calling you old, Tom.
It was not.
Matt, what day's your birthday?
Well after that.
2-1 to Ruiz. The Phillies have their first base runner in scoring position. Wouldn't mind if Carlos hit one out to the Geico sign down the left field line here and tie this ball game up. Perfect, wouldn't it?
There, or Jefferson, or Novacare, or
I don't care where it goes out.
Mason hit the grass somewhere. Get this crowd into it. There's a lot of people there.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Ruiz. He fouls it away off to the right into the Hall of Fame club.
Driving in today, there was quite a long line for the ticket office today, or the ticket booth. I wonder how many of those people got up and said, you know what, it's too darn pretty to go to work today. I'm going to the ball game.
Well, people who are baseball fans, they all feel, I know I feel this way, I'm sure you guys do too, that it is a holiday. Opening day is that holiday from a baseball standpoint that you look forward to, that you long for. And the weather makes it even better. Plus this ballpark. 2-2 pitch coming to Ruiz with Howard leading off second. Just missed. 3-2. Brady Sizemore on deck.
I'm thinking curveball or changeup here. Buckholz does not like to give in.
I'll say a cutter.
Low, ball 4. That'll put 2 on.
We're both wrong.
Toyota Major League Scoreboard, or Nissan Major League Scoreboard, excuse me. The Angels are leading the Mariners 1-0. Mike Trout started the season with a home run. Said he doesn't want to strike out as much. That's a good start.
What are you looking at me for?
Well, you picked McCutcheon. We picked Mr. Trout.
You know, I picked Miggy, but I still like McCutcheon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brady Sizemore grounded out his first time up. They play him to pull. No overshift. Checks his swing. It's low. 1 ball, no strikes. Ryan Howard putting the fear of speed in play. Buchholz is by. Out towards shortstop, and it's gobbled up easily by Bogaerts, and that'll do it for the Phils' threat here in the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, their only hit of the day. We have completed 4. We're out to the 5th inning. It's 2-0 Boston on top.
Good.
Who was the Phillies winning pitcher in Game 1 of the 1915 World Series against the Red Sox? Ben, what do you think, buddy?
Grover Alexander.
Grover Cleveland Alexander is correct. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So at the top of the 5th inning, you can log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack.
You knew that from the start, didn't you?
From Jumpstart.
Totally forgot to let you know that we did a trivia question every game.
Oh.
Every game.
That's okay.
But you've watched all of them, so you know.
You're going to ask what color is the grass or something. A little easier.
Can't be that easy. No. Mookie Betts homered his last time up. He's 1 for 2, and he waves at a changeup. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. All right, so this is only a 2-0 deficit for Cole Hamels. His pitch count is at 83 with 3 pitches into the 5th inning, but he's got his team within reach here.
Yeah, for someone not having his great command of his pitches today, I mean, the splits of 33 balls, 51 strikes. 2 solo home runs, 3 hits. A lot of pitchers would take that line.
Swing and a miss and a changeup, 3-2.
Mookie Betts takes a hack, doesn't he?
Sure does. For a leadoff man, he sure does. And this is his 3rd time leading off in this game. Usually doesn't happen like that.
Well, his home run, which came back in the 3rd inning, meant that he was the 3rd youngest Red Sox hitter in the history since 1914 to hit a home run on opening day.
He's 22.
22. He was struck out. 3 strikeouts for Hamels, 1 away here in the 5th. Murph, it's pretty crowded out there. Were you able to make your way out to Harry the K's?
We did indeed. We are on the top deck of Harry the K's, and well, we're getting set to show you another new thing at Citizens Bank Park this year. Let me welcome in Kevin Tedesco. He is the general manager of Aramark, and Kev, the other day we featured the triple, the 9-patty hamburger. Today, a little more sophisticated taste. Little red wine.
Yes, that is correct. Red wine from Chatsford Winery, new partner here with Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, tell us how that all happened, because they are a brand new partner for us, and now for the first time you can get a freshly poured glass of wine here at the ballpark.
We've always had those items available here at the ballpark in select locations, and for the first time there's actually a Phillies branded wine with local Chatsford Winery here at Harry the Case restaurant and other areas around the ballpark, as we always have.
Tell the folks where else they can get it, because they get it upstairs or downstairs here. But
downstairs here you also have the Hall of Fame Club, the Diamond Club, the High and Inside Pub on the upper deck. So yeah, there's several locations around the ballpark that have it.
Now, guys, I did not attempt to eat the triple the other day.
That ball's hit well, Murph, out to your direction. Pedroia has just homered for the second time today. 3 solo home runs for the Red Sox. It's 3-0 Boston here in the 5th inning. Murph, I know you had your back to the action there, but
I heard the crack of the bat.
You could hear the crack of the bat.
My timing has been impeccable today, guys. I am in mid-season form, apparently. I was going to say that I didn't try the triple burger, but I am going to try the red wine, if that's okay with you guys.
I think there are people that have their hand up all around the ballpark wishing they could join you out there.
I'm going to have Kev's going to pour me a glass, and we're not toasting Dustin Pedroia, that's for certain, but we'll just have a little sip of this. I'm not sure I can sip it on TV, so I'm going to step out of the frame.
1 ball and 1 strike. Did you like it, even though you didn't have it?
Oh, no, I had some, and I did. I enjoyed it very much. All you have to do is do it off camera, guys. Then it's legal. That's the way it works.
Ground ball foul. Well, you can check out Phillies.com, and they have the updated list of all of the new items that are for sale here at Citizens Bank Park, including the wine and some of the other liquor. Beautiful bottle with the Phillies logo.
Yeah.
The shadow cool of the baseball.
I passed that winery twice today.
That's right. That's your neck of the woods.
That's right.
Ben Davis.
Were you lost? Is that why you passed it twice?
Let me guess, you were running both ways.
No, I was driving to the Y, and then I was driving home from the Y.
Second strikeout of the inning for Hamels. 5 overall. And that'll bring Hanley Ramirez to the plate. Boy, Dustin Pedroia, 2 solo home runs. He had 7 home runs last year. Don't forget, he's been battling that ligament issue in his hand, and worked the entire season last year and the year before with that injury. Here's Hanley Ramirez. He's 0 for 1.
What's his tagline? Welcome to the Laser Show.
Welcome to the Laser Show. Luis Garcia starts the throw in the pen. Hamels is due up 3rd in the bottom of the 5th. And a liner out toward left field by Ramirez, and that one is gone. 4 solo home runs for the Red Sox today. Hanley with 6 career home runs against Cole Hamels. Nothing Boston.
Nice timing with that leg kick. Ball jumped off the bat. You said, Tom, early in the game, it's a good day to hit. It sure is right now for the Boston Red Sox.
Well, the 4 home runs allowed by Hamels ties his career high for a game. Last year, the most he had allowed was 3. Hanley Ramirez signed as a free agent this past offseason. Paying dividends. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sandoval. him with a breaking pitch. He struck out 3 in the inning, but Cole allowed 2 more solo home runs. He's allowed 4 overall. Ramirez was the last one. Pedroia has hit 2, and Mookie Betts has hit the other. And the Red Sox have a 4-0 lead. Great. Weekdays at 4 p.m. NBC 10. Count on it. Hello with Ben Davis, Matt Stairs, and Greg Murphy. Tom McCarthy from Philadelphia. South Philly, to be exact, where the Phillies trail the Red Sox 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. It'll be Cody Ashley, Freddie Galvis, and then a pinch hitter for Cole Hamels. Luis Garcia continues to throw in the bullpen for the Phillies. Clay Buchholz has allowed only 1 hit. It was a double by Ryan Howard in the 4th. That's been it. His ball is moving every which way today. Breaking ball. It's 0-1. Ashley, one of 5 strikeout victims. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. We haven't seen Clay Buchholz in person. This is his first ever appearance against the Phillies, but his ball is moving better than anything I could have imagined today from him. Saw a couple of his spring training starts, and the ball wasn't moving like this.
Well, he's got good movement on his fastball. Very good movement on his changeup, and he's been able to throw that curveball for a strike when he needs to. And he's pitching ahead in the count. But you're right, the baseball is moving a ton.
Change up, and Ashley way out front. Actually, that may have been that was a change up. And Ashley is struck out. That's the 6th strikeout of the day for Buchholz. Put out goes 2-3.
There's a ball down in the dirt. It's just, you know, there's no shadows right now. Nothing's affecting their vision right now. But that ball, it was getting to the plate, and then the bottom is just falling out of it. The thing is, you have to respect his off-speed pitches, but you can't respect him too much because he does have a good fastball. It's not like he's throwing 87, 88 with his heater. It's 92, 93, so you have to respect that as well.
Cesar Hernandez is the on-deck hitter for the Phils. He'll pinch hit for Hamels. There's Garcia warming up, chatting with Rod Nichols. No balls and 1 strike to Freddie Galvis. 0 for 1. And it's 0-2. Yeah, a lot's been made about the Red Sox starting rotation. And Clay Buchholz is considered the #1. I don't want to say it's by default, but he's a tenured guy. And he has won 66 games, 2 World Series championships. But he was quoted this week as saying, I want to be a guy this team can count on. I've prepared this year to be that guy and to have a good season. He's also in the final year of a guaranteed contract. Now, there are options that the Red Sox have. They hold options for 16 and 17. This is only 5 innings or 4 innings plus that he's had today, but he's been pretty good. So he splits 20 balls, 44 strikes. Ground ball right side. Pedroia to his left. And they're 2 away. And here comes Cesar Hernandez. So Cole Hamels' first start is in the books. 5 innings, 5 hits, and 4 runs. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. He'll finish with 99 pitches. And Hernandez didn't have a great spring. Last year hit .237 for the Phils in his first major league home run. Phillies kept him for a handful of reasons. He was out of options. They feel like he could play second and short without a problem. He can also play third if he needs to. And he's a switch hitter. Out toward right field, towering shot. Victorino going back toward the wall, looking for the wall, makes the catch. And the side is retired. A 1-2-3 5th inning. We've completed our first 5. It's the Red Sox 4, the Phillies nothing. In a hurry to get somewhere last season because he was racing all around the diamond. Ben became the 12th player in Phillies team history to swipe 40 bases in a single season, and the first since J-Roll did so in 2008. In addition, he tied for the National League lead in hits, led in singles, and put up a career-best .306 average. Revere's Run is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the Fanatic doing a little Bruno Mars in between innings. He also was able to invite the Floozy to do some Bruno Mars as well. Some new clothes for the Fanatic this year. Here's Luis Garcia making his first appearance. Garcia out of the bullpen. In relief of Cole Hamels will face Shane Victorino, Xander Bogaerts, and Ryan Hannigan. As we head toward the bottom of the Red Sox order here in the top of the 6th inning, 4-0 Boston on top. And Garcia delivers low, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, those are Garcia's numbers last year. He was outstanding in AAA. Not so much here, but better as the season moved on.
And he pitched in a different role when he was up here compared to when he was down in AAA. We saw the great stuff in spring training. He has a good fastball. He has a good split. He has a good sinker. So it's just a matter of getting an opportunity and confidence.
Out front is Victorino, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
See, that's the pitch I don't want to hit. I know his back hurts, but I don't want to hit that pitch right-handed. I don't. I want that pitch coming into me as a lefty.
Oh, so you're saying if he was a left-handed batter in that spot,
yeah,
that was a good pitch to hit, or easier pitch to hit?
Well, it's an easier pitch to see.
Howard coming running in, won't be able to get there. A little check swing foul ball, and it remains 1-2.
Because your whole life you're more in tune to that pitch coming into you, breaking into you. And now it's going away, down and away.
It was kind of interesting talking to him, though, about the switch and how he was nervous about asking or talking to the Red Sox about it, because he knows what he was signed for. He was signed to be a switch-hitting outfielder. And there's obviously an advantage to that, particularly with his speed. Outside, 2-2.
Well, and I think as well, if he was hitting left-handed, he would have a better balance with the lineup, because they are pretty strong on the right side right now.
That is true. I mean, beyond David Ortiz,
he's the only one.
Yeah,
Sandoval's switch hitter. But then again, the right-handed hitters they have, they don't worry about right-handed pitchers too often.
No.
Ball 4, and Victorino has walked for the 2nd time today. The Philly fanatic will be celebrating another birthday. In fact, the Phillies will help celebrate his birthday on Sunday, April 26th. The 1:35 first pitch against the Atlanta Braves. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Great giveaway. It's one of the new giveaways the Phillies will have this year. The Fanatic baseball socks, free to fans 14 and under. The Citizens Bank Fanatic birthday celebration. Here's Xander Bogaerts, 0 for 2. In the dirt, away from Ruiz, but not far enough. He'll keep Victorino over at first.
See, this is exactly what will infuriate Ryan Sandberg and Bob McClure. You get called out of the bullpen to do a job, and you walk the leadoff hitter. No, when you have him behind in the count, put him away. It just can't happen out of the bullpen.
Yeah, we keep talking about him taking that next step and using the numbers from AAA and using them here in the big leagues. It's got to come a point where you have to do it, or you're just not going to do it. One ball and 1 strike. Bogaerts takes way upstairs. Garcia stumbled. Ruiz stumbled. I mean, that ball was everywhere.
That was a great play by Chooch. You're so in tune to down, down, down as a catcher, working down, staying down. Then you get a 96er up top. So we do all those leg squats in the offseason. Be a throw to first here.
Just to keep Victorino close. Breaking ball in there. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Out towards center field. Herrera makes the catch, and 1 out here in the 6th inning. Back to first base goes Shane Victorino. Well, it's not often that you have a major trade take place opening day. Well, yesterday, the Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres pulled off a blockbuster. If you consider Craig Kimbrell and Melvin Upton, who's B.J. Upton, blockbuster kind of players, they go to San Diego. The Braves get Carlos Quentin, who they're apparently going to DFA, then Cameron Maybin, who's going to be in their outfield, and then 2 prospects, an outfielder and a pitcher, and the 41st pick in the MLB draft. How about how much they've made over that Padres team? This is
unbelievable.
So when you have the Dodgers out there and you have the World Series champion San Francisco Giants, you talk about keeping up with the Joneses. You want to compete, you have to get the players.
Well, and I'm not sure how much B.J. Upton will help.
Zero.
Yeah,
not a lot.
But it's Kimbrell. Kimbrell's the key to that
right.
trade for the Padres. Padres are on top of the Dodgers 1-0 in the third.
I shouldn't say zero. He gives depth to a team.
Sure, that's what it is. He just gives depth. And they have his brother.
Good outfielder.
They have Will Myers, obviously. But man, the Braves are just wiping the slate clean. Venable's there as an extra outfielder. No balls at 1 strike. Hannigan takes low. But as former players, what kind of a shock is it? I mean, it's always a shock when you get traded, but on opening day?
Yeah, well, what's going through Freddie Freeman's mind right now?
He's the lone wolf.
He goes to the ballpark. He's like, okay, I don't know you. Okay, where were you last year?
You're going to issue name tags in the clubhouse.
They did that in spring training. They had T-shirts that had name tags, and you, with a Sharpie, wrote your name on it. Back toward the middle, Galvis comes charging it. His only play is to get Hannigan, and he does. On the out-of-town scoreboard, the Braves and the Marlins are matching up. And the Braves lead the Marlins 1-0. That game's in the bottom of the second. Nick Markakis, an RBI for the Braves. Free agent signing from the Baltimore Orioles.
And that was another question. Why, if you're going to revamp your team, get rid of Kimbrell, you're going to get rid of Upton, you're getting rid of the Upton, you're getting
Hayward.
All these people, Hayward gone, then why do you sign him to a 4-year deal?
It's a great question. Well, everybody has a plan, and the Braves have a plan, I guess, to stockpile prospects. People also wonder about the trading of a pick. It doesn't happen often in baseball. You can trade a compensatory pick, which is what the 41st pick is in the draft. You're allowed to do that now. And that's why that was included in the trade. It doesn't, it's not something that you've seen over the years. Buchholz shows bunt again, takes a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
But how do they come up with the 41st?
That's the Braves have a, or the Padres have a 41st pick. So they have that. It's a sandwich pick.
Okay.
So they can swing that over to the Braves. Hot shot to short, picked on 1 hop by Freddie Galvis.
Do it, Freddie.
Boy, oh boy, that's some leather out there. Side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. Yep, a packed house here in Philadelphia. The Red Sox on top 4-0. McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEF now or visit jefferson.edu. Bottom of the 6th inning, Red Sox up 4-0. Look at that sight. I mean, this is what it was like when the Phillies had that sellout streak, 257 consecutive sellout streaks. This is what it looked like every single day. One of the prettiest ballparks in baseball. StubHub Mother's Appreciation Day will be Sunday, May 10th, when the Phillies take on the New York Mets. It's all part of a 3-game series. Women 15 and over will receive the Phillies wristlet. Want to check that out? You can look at a picture by going to Phillies.com. You can purchase tickets by going to Phillies.com. Ben, what do you think of your first opening day since 2010?
I'm having a blast.
Yeah,
I really am.
Well, I asked you earlier, how bad did you want to take batting practice today?
Down on that field, the adrenaline was going. Smell of pine tar.
Yeah, what did you say? We were around the cage. Is there any better smell than pine tar?
I said it should be a cologne.
It should be a cologne.
I love that smell.
I believe that something happened with Hannigan where he needs something. I don't think it's his glove. Oh, is it his glove?
Yeah. I think he popped the string.
Okay.
Down, throw yours down.
Got it right here. Leave home without it.
That one looks a little newer than the one he just discarded.
Sure does.
Revere 0 for 2 today. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ben has some pretty specific goals going into this season. Last year he finished with 184 hits. He wants 200. Said he was so close. He said he kind of gets it when people talk about how cool it is to get 200 hits if you're an offensive player. And he also wants 50 stolen bases. He's kicking himself that he finished with 49 last year. Juan Samuel, who was a base stealer during his time with the Phillies, is challenging Revere to be even more aggressive on the base paths this year. He said, Revere said that Sammy, and he said even Ricky Henderson has told him this. He said, listen, they know you're going to steal. I mean, don't try to be coy about it. They know you're going to steal. Be more aggressive. That one's pulled over to first. Big Poppy's there and makes the catch.
Well, there are certain pitchers in the league that will not shorten their stride or use a quick step or a slide step or pitch out. You have to take advantage of those guys as many opportunities, as many times as you can. There are guys that just refuse to do it, whether that be a starter, reliever, or closer. But you get a guy like that, you take advantage of it.
Well, you look at his career, 34, 40, 22, 49 last year. Here's Odubel Herrera, who's 0 for 2. In the dirt. Now, you guys weren't base stealers, and I don't mean that in a bad way. But 49 stolen bases. He said, you know, it bothers him that he didn't get 50 last year. He was so close to 50 stolen bases.
That would bother me if I were a base stealer. It's like hitting 299.
O2 pitch to Herrera. Excuse me, the 1-0 pitch to Herrera is hit foul, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. I was shortchanging the man. He only saw 1 pitch, and I already had him in the hole.
That's because you're referring to us as not base runners or base stealers.
I felt comfortable. I felt comfortable with that statement.
I'm over 500 stolen bases, percentage-wise.
Yeah, 2 for 4.
26 for 23, I think.
26 for 23.
26.
It's Canadian math, Tom.
No, 26.
Canadian.
Is that the
26 stolen bases?
Yeah. That was in
23.
kilometers.
That's over 5. That's over 50%.
That is over 50%. very proud of you.
It's T-O-O. Come on, get your big league knock right here.
2-1 pitch to Herrera. Breaking ball. We fold him. It's 2-2.
AL East baseball. Behind the count, there's something soft. That's a good pitch here, though. And that's one thing that I talked about, command issues. Well, he hasn't had any today. He did have the one walk to Chooch back in the 4th inning, but he's able to throw that breaking ball behind the count. I've seen it done a lot. 2-1 today.
Swing and a miss. He threw something soft again. 7 strikeouts for Clay Buchholz. Clocking in at 70 pages per minute, the HP OfficeJet Pro X is the perfect addition to your starting lineup. And now 50% off. Get yours today. From who? But W.B. Mason. And now with 2 outs, Chase Utley's coming up. Utley is 0 for 2. He's done an error and also struck out. Chase was a guest on the inaugural Breakfast on Broad on the Comcast network earlier today. Rob Ellis had an interview with him, and it was solid. And Rob asked him some poignant questions about what he'd like to do, that he has control of his future as far as trades go. There's Rob, one of the new hosts of Breakfast on Broad. See, Ben, when you weren't up here in the booth, you could spend some time in the same box that Rob's in right now.
That's right.
Ricky Bottalico, Michael Barkan.
Robbie E., the pride of Monsignor Bonner High School.
One pitch to Utley. In the dirt, 2-1. Two of the best in the game, Chase Utley and Dustin Pedroia. Brian Roberts just retired. Luis Castillo has been out of the game for a couple of years. Cano is still playing in Seattle. That one's pulled down the right field line, foul. Chase Utley, David Ortiz. You want to talk about longevity with a particular ball club? Each has been in the World Series with their team. Like the Minnesota Twins said the other day how much they regret that they let David Ortiz go some years ago.
How could you not?
Ortiz originally came up with the Twins, but has basically been with the Red Sox for the entire success of his career. 3-2 pitch to Utley. Swing and a miss, and he has struck out for the 2nd time. 8 strikeouts today for Clay Buchholz. So far, this is the kind of opening day a starting pitcher can only dream of. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. Well, today it's been all about the home runs, the solo home runs for the Red Sox. Pedroia has 2, Betts has 1, Ramirez has 1. And then you couple that with the pitching of Clay Buchholz, who's only allowed a Ryan Howard double. That's it. The opposite way. Cole Hamels went 5 innings today. He allowed 4 home runs, which tied a career high. Phillies have already used 1 relief pitcher. They're on to their second one as we go to the 7th inning. Genmar Gomez, who had an excellent spring. Last year's numbers with the Pirates, 3-2 with a 3.19 ERA, 62 innings, 38 strikeouts. And he'll face the top of the order, Mookie Betts, who is 1 for 3.
His 4th time leading off.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, and I hadn't realized it, but you're right. Buchholz has made the last out in 3 innings, and that's enabled him to lead off, counting the start of the game 4 times. Victorino calls him Little Kutch for McCutcheon. Said he resembles him, he thinks, at this point in his career. He's going to have to fill out a little bit more to resemble Andrew McCutcheon.
Those are some awfully big shoes to fill. But he mentioned the same sentence was very reassuring of his talent. Comes that sinker you like, Tom.
Over toward the hole, a base hit for Betts. Well, it just didn't sink enough.
It just elevated too much.
Dustin Pedroia is bringing the lumber. Brought to you by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. 2 home runs already today.
Yeah, back in the first inning at the fastball in the zone. Like you said, Tom, in opening day, he does not miss pitches. And all of a sudden, the 5th inning, almost the exact same spot, elevated a little bit as well. Knocked to the ballpark for a 2nd home run.
Well, the Red Sox wanted to bring more lumber this year, and they certainly have today. First pitch is high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. As we mentioned before, 9 opening day games, 9 hits. Again toward the hole, and another base hit. That one leaked in the left, so back-to-back singles. Pedroia has 3 hits today. Isn't this usually the point in the game where they bring a pinch runner in for the starters? Can we get that guy out of the game?
Pretty good chance this will be David Ortiz's last at bat. Probably take him out and bring in a defensive replacement.
Well, Chili Davis is the new hitting coach for the Red Sox, and I'm sure any hitting coach would love 4 home runs, but his team now has banged out 7 hits. Pretty good opening statement. There's Chili. Ortiz today is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. He's also popped out to short.
Talk about a guy that's never changed his stance. He's had the same stance forever.
Yeah, I remember watching him in Double-A in New Britain, Connecticut, and he basically looked the same. That was with the Twins organization.
Those just show how guys mature later in their careers, change of scenery. With Minnesota, I thought he was good, but not. I didn't think he turned into the player he is now.
Yeah, he just
seemed
to
has
have,
been.
He had too many holes when he was with the Twins, didn't he?
I don't know if it was the baggy and right. at the Dome there, but no, he was good. He got his hits and his home runs, but what he's done in a Red Sox uniform is completely different.
8 years of 100 RBIs or more, 466 career home runs. Flicks that one into the crowd. Well, here's some of the particulars. 2,159 hits and 1,533 RBIs. To say both Gomez and Garcia have a little bit different tempos going than they had in spring training. I mean, am I right with that?
I agree. That's the problem. You start thinking too much in the big league game.
That one's fouled at the plate. Got a piece of Ortiz.
And a lot more off-speed pitches, especially from Gomez. Saw a ton of sinkers from him in camp. And it was a good, hard power sinker.
Now, do you think that's because of Pedroia and because of Ortiz that they're throwing a little softer stuff than the sinker?
Definitely affects it. Definitely affects it. You still never want to get away from your best pitch. I don't care who's up.
There it is. Down in the zone, a changeup. Good location. And a strikeout of Ortiz. So 1 out, and Hanley Ramirez is coming up. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. One of the handful of 45,549 here at Citizens Bank Park. Ramirez is homered. He's 1 for 2. He walked back in the third. Originally the property of the Boston Red Sox. He was traded to the Marlins some years ago. He signed as a free agent with the Red Sox in 2000. Miami Marlins made a very good trade when they were able to pick up Hanley Ramirez, Josh Beckett, guys like that from the Boston Red Sox. There were some that are still in the organization when Ramirez was coming up that felt like he could make the adjustment to left field.
Yeah, we were talking to the guys from Nesson. Jerry Remy was saying that thus far he's had no problems in left field. And really, playing left field in Fenway Park is pretty easy.
Back toward the middle. Galvis around the bag. Will step on the bag and a double play. Gomez allows 2 batters to reach, but is able to get the double play. 6-3 on the putout. Well, it's opening day. We're going to get a chance to hear Technical Sergeant Lori McCarty sing God Bless America here at Citizens Bank Park.
Please join Master Sergeant Lori McCarty of the Pennsylvania Air National Guard as she sings God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountain mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Day 2015. It's a great way to introduce somebody to the game of baseball. Even though the Phillies offense has managed only one hit here this afternoon. Great day to maybe escape from school. Some kids are on vacation because of the Easter holiday. Hope everybody did enjoy their Easter and their Passover this past weekend. Mike Napoli does take over. You're clairvoyant, Matt. Take over at first base for David Ortiz. Ryan Howard to lead it off. The first pitch from Buchholz. Ground ball to Napoli.
That ball will find you.
Sure will. 3-1 on the putout. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph, what's going on, buddy?
Well, guys, it is time for the Major League Baseball Notebook, if you're ready for that. And Major League Baseball setting a record today, probably one they don't want to set. 115 guys starting the season on the disabled list. That's up from 5 from a year ago. And you got some big names, Yu Darvish, Justin Verlander, and, of course, Cliff Lee as well. All those guys starting on the disabled list. Only the Twins have 0 guys on the DL to start. Also, some news that's going to happen in 2018. The All-Star Game has been announced. The Washington Nationals will have that game in 2018. One of 2 teams that haven't had that game. Now only the Tampa Rays have not hosted the All-Star Game, guys.
Murph, it looks like it's pretty busy out there in the concourse. Is it still moving around pretty good?
It is a packed house underneath here. It has been hard to move around, but it's awesome. It's awesome. Fans are having a great time. They're enjoying this perfect weather, as we all are. And despite the score, I think everybody's having a good time. Bad about it. See, they're having fun. And we're playing with our new camera out here on the concourse. We're having fun, too.
I don't know. You sound like you're a little out of breath. Were you running from another point in the ballpark?
I was running from some folks, actually. That's what
Line drive to right field, and Ruiz is going to take his spot at first. It's only the second hit of the day. And it'll bring Grady Sizemore to the plate. All right, a couple things to point out. Buchholz is at 87 pitches. He hasn't really allowed a whole lot today. Bullpen-wise, Koji Ihara, the closer for the Red Sox, he's not with the ball club. Right. He's on the DL. He won't be back until probably the 11th of April. Edward Mujica will be the closer if there is a save situation. Even if there's not, he may work today anyway. because of the off day tomorrow. Phillies scratch a run or two across here. They can get into that Red Sox bullpen maybe and do some damage as this game moves on.
They always say a couple bloops in the blast and you're right back in it.
No idea what that throw to first is for.
He wanted to show off the bloop.
Give the guy time to start warming up in the bullpen.
And it does look like there's some movement going on in the Red Sox bullpen. They have 3 lefties available. Breaking ball to Sizemore. It's 0-1. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals lead the Mets 1-0. That game's at the bottom of the 5th inning. Bryce Harper has accounted for the run. 3rd career opening day home run for Harper. Mets do not have a hit so far. Bartolo Colon starting for the Mets, and there's the 2nd straight hit for the Phils. That'll put runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 man down. Here's Cody Ashe. Junichi Tozawa is the first one up for the Red Sox.
This is where you just want to keep it moving along.
Keep it moving. Out towards 2nd. Oh, what a play by Pedroia. There's 1, and that's all they'll get. Over to 3rd goes Ruiz. That was basically a do-or-die play. It was either going to be taken on 1 hop by Pedroia with that grab, or it was going to be a base hit and maybe an RBI for the Phils.
Well, I think I saw that last night with Mason at the hockey game.
Really?
I mean, really, that was a tremendous play right there. Short hop and almost turned into an unbelievable double play, but it's the fact that he keeps his glove down low and goes up with the ball gives him an opportunity.
And he got to his feet quickly. He made a good feed to Bogaerts short. It was almost complete as a double play.
Well, now Freddie Galvis. Phils have a runner at 3rd for the first time today. Galvis takes a fastball. It's 0-1. Darren Ruff has come out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. Pitcher spot is due up next. DeFreitas is warming up in the bullpen. Giles is up as well. Robbie Ross joins Tozawa in the pen. And now the 0-2 pitch coming to Freddie Galvis. Had a play down the left field line.
Terrible 0-2 pitch there. One of the few mistakes we've seen Buchholz make today. 0-2. That was center cut right down the middle there.
I would expect that this is going to be his last inning. No balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Galvis struck out. That was not a good at-bat for Freddie Galvis. 9 strikeouts for Buchholz. The Phillies lead 2. We'll go to the 8th inning here in South Philadelphia. its older Pennsylvanians and buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Top of the 8th inning, Red Sox on top 4-0. Red Sox with 4 runs, all 4 on solo home runs, 7 hits overall. Phillies with just 3 hits. And Justin DeFreitas will take over. Third pitcher used out of the bullpen. Garcia, a scoreless 6th. And Gomez, a scoreless 7th. And now DeFreitas will start the 8th inning. Last year, 3-1, a 2.39 ERA. DeFreitas threw a lot of pitches on Friday night. Asked him about that on Saturday. He said, they just wanted me to try to kick the rust off. There's Buchholz. His afternoon may be complete. We'll see. His pitch count is still pretty manageable considering that he had a pretty heavy workload in spring training. So he's stretched out. Pablo Sandoval leads it off, and Sandoval takes a strike. It's 0-1. Juan Nieves, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, chatting with Buchholz. Brady said that right now he thinks his fastball is fine. He said his changeup is fine. He said his slider is the one pitch that he's still trying to get to where it needs to be. There's a foul ball, and it remains 1-2.
Now this is a good changeup down the zone. Does this hit the dirt first? Pretty close to it, isn't it?
It was pretty close, yeah.
I've seen him do it before. This is where you'd like to see it happen, right here. 2-2. You don't want to go full count. This is your action pitch. Make it happen here. Need to see back foot a slider.
Utley on 2 hops is there. Sandoval's retired. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Well, it's time now for our Hyundai defensive plays of the game. First one, we'll go back to the 3rd inning. Ben Revere, a line drive caught by Pedroia. He's had himself a busy day. He's got 3 hits, 2 home runs. And how about this one in the 7th inning?
Well, this one here is just one that he just makes a good play. Sometimes you got to tip your cap. But Dustin Pedroia, we know about what he can do with the bat, but he's, like I said earlier, he's a ball player. He's a baseball player. He'll find different ways to beat you.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. 1 ball, no strikes to Victorino. Victorino 0 for 1 with 2 walks today. Walked in the 2nd, walked in the 6th. Three final scores around Major League Baseball. Yankees lost to the Blue Jays 6-1. Detroit defeated Minnesota 4-0. J.D. Martinez hit the first home run in today's games for the Tigers. David Price got the win. Colorado shut out Milwaukee 10-0. Kyle Kendrick gets the win in the opening day start. 7 innings, 7 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts.
It's good for KK.
Yep.
Happy for him.
I can't believe Toronto beat New York in New York.
6-1.
These never happens for Toronto.
Hutchinson was the winner.
Encarnacion hit a bomb there today.
He did hit a bomb.
Ben and I were talking before the game about the Blue Jays. And how they have a good chance of running away with the East. If they can get some pitching.
Chopper to third, backing up on it is Ashe. And he hurries the throw over across the diamond to get Victorino 2 outs. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. It hasn't happened yet today. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Here's Xander Bogaerts, who's 0 for 3. He's popped out. He's flied out twice. Breaking ball down and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
A very good slider there. I'd like to see that 1-2 or 0-2, but that's some good bite on it. Yeah, we already saw him laboring the other night in that exhibition game.
Said that was good, though. He said it was good to work out of that jam. I mean, I don't know. I know he was looking for a positive out of what was a long outing, but he said it was good to kind of get into the feel of, not that he did it on purpose, but then to get out of it.
He just looked like he was laboring out there. He didn't look comfortable. Stepping off the mound a lot.
Inside, 3-0 to Bogaerts. Hannigan waits on deck. And ball 4. Walked him on 4 pitches. Hannigan is 1 for 2. He walked his first time up. Clay Buchholz, 94 pitches through 7 innings. The Phillies staff 149 pitches, and there are 2 outs here in the 8th. Daniel Nava has come out of the on-deck circle for the Red Sox.
With a 2-bat swing and warm-up.
That's old school right there. No weight.
Want to throw over to first base right here.
You think he's going?
Yeah, he's getting a pretty good read off him.
Ball's in the dirt, 2-2. Bogaerts last year stole just a couple of bags in his limited time up with the Red Sox. Marty Beller is the first base coach. He's over chatting with him right now.
Because if he gets thrown out, you still have Hannigan still leading off the 9th inning.
With a pinch hitter to follow.
And you don't lose your pinch hitter, right?
Runner goes. Pitch is pulled toward the hole. Galvis is there. He'll set himself on fire. In time to get Hannigan. Side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. We have played 7.5 here in Philadelphia. Opening day. Phillies trail the Red Sox 4-0. exceptional here this afternoon. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts. Guys, his ball was moving every which way from the beginning.
He was excellent. He was absolutely excellent. The ability to throw the off-speed pitches behind the count. His changeup, I think, was what really set him apart and kept the Phillies off balance today. He was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
And I agree. And I think that he was being able to throw the curveball over when he needed to, first strikes. This is the first time in a long time I've seen a pitcher make the hitters look very uncomfortable and very off balance. We've seen it tonight. Chase Utley twice with 2 strikeouts, and pretty much all the hitters were off balance tonight.
Yeah, and there's certain guys that they were that way at the end of spring training, but there were other guys that were not that way in spring training where they were off balance. Well, here's Tozawa last year, 4-3, 63 innings of work. Robbie Ross Jr. is warming up in the bullpen as well. Jake Diekman has started to throw. 2 teams have the off day tomorrow and then come back on Wednesday night. So Tozawa will face Andres Blanco to start things off, a pinch hitter. Blanco takes a pitch high, 1 ball, no strikes.
One thing you're going to see from Tozawa is a 4-pitch pitcher, and he'll top out at 95 miles an hour, and he has that good shoot, though, which is basically a sinker, which I could not hit over in Japan.
Is that thrown differently over there than it is here?
No.
They just throw it more often, and they have a little bit.
It's like a BP fastball.
Okay. That goes down.
Just runs. It's like it's a little sinker.
Yeah. One ball and 1 strike to Blanco. Pulls that one to the right side. Pedroia diving stop, gets to his feet, 1 out.
Little gnats all over the place.
NBC News, NBC 10 News at 4, the only station with 20 minutes of nonstop news. Weekdays at 4 p.m. NBC 10. Count on it. That little gnat is all over the place. It does seem that way. He is that kind of guy, right? He's a dirtbag. Or dirt ball, I guess, in this case.
That's what back when they won the World Series with Kevin Millar and Johnny Damon and all those guys, that's what their nicknames were back in the day. They can play baseball. And like Ben said, he is a little gnat who can play baseball very well.
Here's Ben Revere. He's 0 for 3 today. There's a lot of that going on. Phillies have only 3 hits. A double by Howard, and a single by Ruiz, a single by Sizemore. It'll be Revere and then Herrera here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Outside 2-0. You guys have an opening day that stands out in your career that you remember? Is there anything in particular? Maybe your first one? Maybe a specific game that you had?
Mine was playing right field for the Kansas City Royals when Dimitri Young for the Tigers hit 3 home runs against us.
Oof.
That was pretty cool to watch.
Did they all go over your head, or?
2 of them did.
Out of play, 2-2.
Nothing in particular stands out for me, to be honest with you.
You remember your first one? First opening day?
Not really.
No?
I really don't.
That special, huh?
Yeah,
Really?
it was one of those days.
Kept the lineup card and everything, didn't you?
I'm sure there was an offer mixed in.
Mine was. It was the old ballpark in Cincinnati. 19 something.
And at that point,
92
something.
It was 92.
They had the first game played. You played in the first game of the year.
Yep.
Cincinnati always had the opener for Major League Baseball.
Opening day, we had now this guy right here, something they'll never forget.
That's right.
Put it this way, he did more on his opening day than I did. I struck out against Dibble.
Yeah, the Nasty Boys are being honored.
As they should.
As well they should.
Fly ball shallow left field. Ramirez a long run in and is there for the second out. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And here comes Odubel Herrera.
Back in the day when you had Myers, Norm Charlton, Rob Dibble, that was a pretty nasty, well, the Nasty Boys, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, the Reds open up against the Pittsburgh Pirates today, and the last couple of days, all 3 were out in Cincinnati. Odubel Herrera at his first big league game takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Randy Myers was the first pitcher I caught in a big league game. I went in as a double switch in September of '98 in Arizona, and Randall Kay was on the mound.
Was he Looney Birds?
Was he?
He was different.
There's a liner out toward third, caught by Sandoval. 1-2-3, 8th inning. That shattered Herrera's back. We've played 8 on to the 9th inning. Some deliveries of the game. Guys, there's games where it's really easy to figure it out. Today it's been pretty easy.
That it is. It's all about home runs today. Pedroia starts it off in the first inning with a home run. Then Betts comes up in the 3rd inning and hits another solo home run on a fastball from Cole Hamels. Then that's the little Matt again. Dustin Pedroia, another solo home run to left field. Then the last, Ramirez getting his first home run as the Boston Red Sox. Laser shoulder left field. Those 4 solo home runs are your WB Mason deliveries of the game.
Kind of hope that most days it'll be a team in the red pitch stretch that'll be part of our WB Mason deliveries of the game.
I agree.
You never like to have Cole Hamels leave after the 5th inning. The one positive about that is some of these guys in the bullpen get a chance to get their feet wet this year, get that first inning out of the way. And it's happened, you know, Garcia, Gomez, DeFreitas, and now Diekman.
So Diekman will pitch in his first ball game last year, 100 strikeouts and 71 innings of work. It'll be pretty difficult to top something like that. Alan Craig is the pinch hitter for the Red Sox. Craig acquired last year from the St. Louis Cardinals. Eight home runs, 46 runs batted in. He didn't hit all that well when he came over from the National League to the American League. These National League games affect him. They affect a number of guys, but they really do affect him because then he has no chance to even be a DH, although it helps because he can pinch hit.
Right.
toward the hole, a base hit it to left field. So he's aboard to start the top of the 9th inning. And back to the top of the order for Mookie Betts. Betts has had a good opening day. He's 2 for 4. Including a home run that was back in the 3rd.
I just got a text from one of the Phillies guest instructors this year, and Aaron Rowan, who's watching the game. Having him in camp was very helpful for the outfielders.
Go back to the success the Phillies had, those 5 straight division championships. If you ask Charlie Manuel how things changed, when they changed, he said it was when he arrived. Aaron Rowan, and kind of took over the clubhouse to a certain extent. He wasn't around when the Phillies won the 2008 World Championship.
Right.
But he helped change the culture a little bit in that clubhouse, or a lot in that clubhouse. Three balls and no strikes to Betts.
Jake's very methodical out there today, huh?
Yeah, he just walked Betts on 4 pitches. The Red Sox have 2 on for Pedroia, who has a 3-hit day going so far. Reminder that Kids opening day, Turkey Hill Kids opening day, will be this Sunday when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. It's all part of a 3-game series against the Nats. It wraps up with a 1:35 first pitch. A Phillies backpack free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Pedroia, a .299 lifetime hitter coming into this season. Last year hit .278, now 31 years old, has 3 hits today, 2 home runs. Takes a fastball, it's 0-1.
Well, it's definitely a good way to start off the season. 3 knocks, 2 homers.
He's also made a couple of really good plays at second base.
Yes.
Ball and 2 strikes, a slider from Diekman.
Well, his defensive plays, you'll see that ever since he's been up in the big leagues. And you'll see it throughout his career. But I think him getting off with 2 home runs helps him a lot because of the, 7 home runs last year?
Yeah, 7 home runs a season ago. He is a good player. Low ball 2-2-2. 99 on that fastball from Diekman. We haven't seen much of that this spring. That's a good sign.
I call him a gnat, but he's one of those guys because you look at his stature. You're not supposed to be able to do those kind of things. Okay, you're not supposed to get 3 hits and go up top twice and make those plays at second base. But he does it, and he's done it for his entire career. And that's what I'm saying. As an opponent, it's frustrating.
But it's a compliment when you call him a gnat.
Very complimentary.
Well, the gnat goes down swinging on strikes. What a way. I'm sure he's heard it all during his career.
Doesn't faze him.
So it's good old fastball right here. Here it is. Hit it. Try to catch up to it. Good location down the zone.
Boy, that has some jump on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It has some jump.
So now Mike Napoli up for the first time. He came on to take over at first base for David Ortiz. Napoli takes a pitch upstairs. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Napoli has played for the Rangers and the Angels. He has been a solid pickup for the Red Sox. Talk about a guy that takes a lot of pitches. He runs counts. Just like that, he swings with a slider, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Right on cue, huh, Tom?
Yeah. Well, last year he had 248, 17 home runs, but he averaged almost 4.6 pitches per at bat. Those are Jason Worth kind of numbers.
That's why American League East baseball is about 4.5 hours per game. Be interested to see if that clock helps out this year. Well, American League East.
Yeah, and the speed up rules. I mean, right there, Napoli swung and missed at that pitch, but he was out of the batter's box adjusting his gloves, which is not what he's allowed to do this year. In the dirt, smothered by Ruiz, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, after a swing, you're allowed, right? Or a foul ball?
Foul ball.
Foul ball.
Oh, only a foul ball.
Foul ball, yep.
I have to reread the rules.
But technically, he's out of the box too long.
Well, Diekman's not ready to throw it either, so.
But 1 foot has to stay in the batter's box. It's not going to help any.
No.
Check swing, and it's 3-2. Never did leave the batter's box entirely. See what the runners do here with 1 out. They don't go. Pitch is hit in the air down the right field line. A foul ball. And Sizemore gives it a look. It's out of play.
I'll tell you what'll be interesting to see is if pitchers, once they get the ball back from the catcher, if they quick pitch. Because usually the hitters step out. Usually,
I guess it depends on the umpire.
is it technically is it a quick pitch? He's still staying in the batter's box.
You mean like right now?
Yeah.
Just a bit down low. Ball 4. That'll load up the bases. Second walk for Diekman. Batter required to keep 1 foot in the batter's box. Batters may step out after a swing or other break in action. Timers will be used to ensure prompt return to play after breaks. Players notified of violations post-game. So, you know what, Ben, that may go with what you said. I thought it was a foul ball. I have to correct myself if that's the case.
I thought it was a swing.
You know, the original email, I thought it said a foul ball. But you're right about that. It's just a swing. Cesar Jimenez is getting up and throwing in the pen. Bob McClure out to the mound. And here's Hanley Ramirez with the bases loaded. Hanley homered back in the 5th inning. He's also hit into a double play. Another double play here would be perfectly timed if you're Jake Diekman. Fouls the pitch back. It's 0-1.
pretty much ventured to the on-deck circle on that one.
Yeah. Phillies bottom of the ninth inning. It'll be Utley, Howard, and Ruiz. Those guys are due up. Robbie Ross is still throwing in the pen for the Red Sox. 0-2 to Ramirez. Down the left field line. It sounded like he broke his bat. It's heading toward the corner. It is gone. Off the pole. A grand slam for Ramirez. 8-0 Red Sox. Second home run of the day for Ramirez. So he has 2 and Pedroia has 2. Well, that's a backbreaker right there.
Sure did sound like it broke his back.
It didn't have that solid pop to it. Well, whatever it had enough to go over 330 feet.
It also came on an 0-2 slider. You see right there the timing. It did jam him.
It did break.
Unless it's just our eyes, but it did seem like it jammed him a little bit.
Yeah, and the sound more than anything else. Right. Well, that's going to be it for Jake Diekman. 8-0 Boston on top. Hanley Ramirez and Dustin Pedroia each have hit 2 home runs. From a Phillies standpoint, it's been a rather disappointing opening day. Ramirez, his 6th career grand slam and his 17th multi-home run game. He's showing his teammates his bat in the dugout. He was pointing toward the handle where, we said the ball hit and where it sounded like it cracked his bat. Well, whatever it did, it was his 2nd home run.
It's cracked. He was showing his teammates it was cracked.
Yeah. Here's Pablo Sandoval to face Cesar Jimenez. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Take a listen to it. Just see what we were talking about. Two balls and no strikes.
It's the 2nd broken back grand slam I've ever seen. First one was my teammate Damian Jackson. We're playing in Houston.
Damian Jackson.
His bat was in about 10 pieces. Ball went out to left for a grand slam.
That one's popped foul behind the plate. It's 2-1. A few years back, Mark Teixeira hit a home run against the Phillies, where he broke his bat at Yankee Stadium.
Some of the bats may have a hairline fracture. You just don't know. You still barrel it up enough, but that could be the final nail in the coffin for your stick.
2-2. Jimenez gets Sandoval to swing over top of a breaking pitch. Got it. 2 outs. Sandoval has struck out 3 times today. And here comes Victorino up for the 5th time this afternoon.
Let's talk about broken bat home runs. Who was it that did a check swing?
Manny Ramirez, wasn't it? Manny Ramirez, a check swing.
Check swing.
And it went out.
Marlon Byrd did that last year on a check. He didn't hit the ball.
Right.
He had a check swing and it broke.
1-1 to Victorino. Victorino's walked twice today. He lines that one softly to left. Revere started back. Now he comes in, makes the catch. Side is retired, but the damage is done. Hanley Ramirez has busted this ball game wide open with a grand slam off the pole down the left field line. His 2nd home run of the day. It's 8-0 Red Sox on top. Not gone the Phillies' way. I guess that's an understatement. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. I'm sure there were a few Budweisers enjoyed here today at the ballpark. Beautiful afternoon for baseball. The anticipation of another opening day. The Red Sox have taken the air out of the sail on this one, though. 5 home runs, 4 solo shots, and a grand slam. Now it's Tommy Lane, pitched very well for Boston last year, who will come on and pitch here at the bottom of the 9th inning. The Phillies will have Utley, Howard, and Ruiz, 2 lefties and a righty, of course, to face Lane. Look at that earned run average, 0.95 in just 19 innings of work.
He's a 3/4 lefty. Scouting report, 3 pitches, tops out at 91 miles an hour, and has a big old curveball.
Probably a little deception, too, with the way he's coming to the plate. So here's Utley, 0 for 3 today. Phillies have managed 3 hits, a double by Howard, and 2 singles. 1 by Ruiz, 1 by Sizemore. First pitch is over. It's 0-1. All this offense is one thing, but the Red Sox really got a great shot in the arm from Clay Buchholz this afternoon. He was as good as you will find. 9 strikeouts in 7 innings. 0-2 to Utley. outside, 2-2. That's where he would get a little funky, the way he's coming across his body like that.
Think his pants are long enough?
I didn't say he was a talent, Ben. 3 unassisted. Utley's retired. And with 1 out, Ryan Howard's coming up. Howard is 1 for 3. He's doubled. He's grounded out twice.
See if Ryan can pick himself up another knock here.
A liner caught by Sandoval on the right side, and there are 2 outs. That was a sinking line drive. Sandoval on the right side of the diamond. Phillies are down to their final out. Carlos Ruiz will come to the plate. Well, score is one thing, and it's disappointing. There's no doubt about it. But what was exciting was 45,549 here today. He said you kind of reflect back to the 257 consecutive sellouts the Phillies had during a run that ended in August of 2012. Such electricity in this ballpark. Ruiz takes low and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Carlos a hit in 2 official at bats. He's also walked today. And it is only 1 game, but you have to sit and stew about it with the off day tomorrow, which is usually traditional with a lot of opening days in the Northeast.
That's what stinks. You want to get right back in the saddle.
You want to get right back in the saddle.
And you're right when you say stew, because it's just.
You try to, I mean, you obviously try to turn the page, and most guys can, but sometimes you just think about it over and over again.
I always had a tough time.
And ball 4. Ruiz draws a 4-pitch walk. And Jeff Francoeur is coming up. So Francoeur will pinch hit for Grady Sizemore. Last year, 15 home runs, 69 runs batted in, and triple A, excuse me. He also pitched some. Finished up spring on a strong note. Had 3 hits in a game.
Yep. 2 doubles and a single down the left field line.
Over to third, Sandoval will take the easy hop. And the Red Sox have won the opener of the 2015 season. 5 home runs. They win it 8-0 over the Phils. Well, it's probably the way Dustin Pedroia dreamed about it. 2 home runs, 3 hits overall. Hanley Ramirez the same, 2 home runs, including a grand slam. It's certainly not the way the Phillies had designed their opening day of the 2015 season to be. Well, our Chevrolet player of the game, we could talk all about the offense, but the guy that was on the mound today for the Red Sox, Clay Buchholz.
He was good. He kept them off stride. He threw strikes behind him to count with his breaking pitches. He was very, very good today.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what helped him a lot was he had a very good movement on the changeup. Like when he's able to throw that first pitch curveball for strikes and then go from there and start using the off speed and the good sinker today.
Yeah, he was effective with everything that he had, and it was from the start of this game until his outing came to a close. Kevin Gregg's going to get Dustin Pedroia for some post-game interviews. There's no doubt about that. 8-0 Red Sox win it. We'll be back right after this.